Hello and welcome. Last time we did the profit taking episode where the NEM at GRS, Bitcoin, US dollar, everything totaling quarter million at this time frame, and now we're going to be watching this value go down just a little bit as the bear market is going to come into play as far as where we stand for some trades that need to be bought and back. 1500, 1200, that was from way back when. 2366 was also pretty much way back when. 8149, that isn't. And then we have 38 and 71. And we can see this price here is close to such, at least for half off. You probably want to get noticeably under 3,000. As we stand in here, we've traded the last at the ratio at 156. And look for the next move. And I won't do this now, but later on, I'm just going to pause the video while I go through these types of deals because it'll just save time. And I really want to end the series and then talk about situations where I'm going to press my luck here because it's just 1 basis point higher. There we go. It's a bit better. And then talk about what the trade would be. So we'll do this up like normal. We have a ratio here at 205 going up 50, almost 50 basis points or close to 33, well, probably 33% because you're one, but anyway, 1 basis point away from uh, 50 cents. But then 156, you're looking about 31%. Good trade nonetheless. This goes from 38 down to 30, and this goes up from 60 to 62. Bitcoin hanging in there at 11.5. So you're selling GRS with an ownership of 112,000 and 20%. Well, I want to do at least that. So 20-ish thousand, I would think should be in order. So let's do that. Sell 25,000 of them. That's 6206. And let's buy at 30.29. We can almost do the buyback again too. And if the market goes down below it, maybe I'll look to do that for one of its next trades. But within such, this is more than half the price, so I should be able to get at least 50,000. And so it goes. I'll do 58 just to make the numbers closer. And that trade is complete. 279,000 now amongst this. So at this stage, I'm going to put 205. I'm going to pause the tape until the next trade day. And that included a press your luck and it lost deal. 29.66, I almost bought more. Meh, but the ratio is down to 1.64 now. Rather, I was waiting for below 164 and it's 1.58. And I'll do this trade in here where I will sell 45,800, thus keeping 5,000 for myself, and getting 28,900 or a plus 3,900 score, still in the quarter million mark, and 26 BTC. And then 5 days go by. The ratio has dropped from 158 to 117, meaning it went below the 126 variable. As the NEM continues its rise, GRS barely going up. So this is a spot where we'll sell some more NEM. For the GRS owning 187,000, 20% is 37. So we're looking at in the area of 40. And in the sale of 40,500 of them, just a bit more, at the price point of 5,026, GRS barely higher at 59, able to accumulate 34,300 of them. And the very next day, magically, one may say, the ratio goes right back to where it was traded before. Why not trade again? 158. GRS, how do you do? What a good day it had. For NEM, barely went down. It went down 47.50. But GRS up to 74, 78. So let's work on the trade back. And amongst such, that means I can sell 30,300 GRS, gaining 4,000, and accumulate 47.5 of the NEM in this case, which would be a gain of 7,000. This puts you up higher now, 287 and then 31 on the BTC value. And from this point on, a lot of time has moved on. Bitcoin prices have fallen from 91 to 81. This has fallen from 5,000 to 31. This has fallen from 59 to 45. The general census is when coins go together down, it's not as much volatility. It's better, of course, during bull runs. And of course, you're going to get your bear market rallies. That's what's going to help out a little bit. The wallet at this point, 208,025 Bitcoin. But I'm just going to put the numbers here and pause it to the next trade or the bottom of the screen if nothing happens. And you get a how do you do moment. I was focusing on, this is going below 3,000. Are we going to just get a buy order? The ratio's closing in on 126. No, the ratio soared the 198. So now you ask your question, do we profit take against Bitcoin? Or do we go for a mammoth trade? And most likely it's going to be mammoth because the last time the profit taking on this came in was at 8,100. And we're still looking to get that back. It really hasn't went below 4,000, so there hasn't been any good 50 offs yet. So you have a spot where it pretty much doubles. Minimum 1/3 is what I think, but probably even closer to 40% on a pure double. Is it a pure double? Yes. So now I'm definitely thinking closer to 40%. 40% of this is going to do really something interesting here. An aggressive play, but it's an interesting one. That would be about 48,000. I mean, we'll go 46, I'm going to go. But that's really going to take this much lower and much higher. Maybe it'll be close enough in matching. But we'll go 12, 24, 48. Let's do 50,000. Yeah, let's do 50. This is where you want to make an aggressive play. So when we look at the numbers in here, the last couple trades, we've been doing 2 Bitcoin 1.5s and all this. Okay. And it was 50 I think I wanted to do. That looks about right. At higher prices, we're going to be looking here at about probably closer to like 4.5 Bitcoin. Yeah, 4 2/3. Bigger move, to say the least. The ownership of the NEM is 194. And if I multiply this by 3, I'm going to be a little higher than this. So I'm going to get under 150,000 to my 194. This is why I call it a big like cash kind of play where you're really doing a lot to increase your possible X value for how much you increase your market by trading. So let's just see what 140 does. And I can buy more. Okay, that number was fine enough for me. 146,500 NEM in. 50,000 GRS out. And I'm still looking to acquire more NEM if it goes down below 3, and it's close. Just something of interest of note. Now the NEM is worth significantly more. You're hoping it reverses back and forth. The next day you are hoping, please retrace lower, please have a big sky rise, or a combination of both. Of course, I would prefer the sky rise and this goes flat, but hey, I'd be loving this if it went to 5,000. So let's go like we did before in the past. I'm just going to push 1 in suspense, and you're just hoping. Or maybe the GRS goes up to 20,000. Let's see. Okay, little retracement and a little rise. But obviously, that doesn't even go below that 236 number. Let alone I'd want even lower than that. 391. Talk about GRS going up higher. So you might as well make another trade again, at this stage, it's really more of cost averaging more than anything because it's going to be nowhere near what you traded before. This is a standard move. You went for a blockbuster, or I'm in this game, I went for a blockbuster move. So 20% of this is 14,000 and change. It's like 15-ish, a bit more, but that's a lot lower. And it's going to be a lot lower than 4 2/3 Bitcoins as well. 16,000 is still 2.05. And I think if there's more further up move, I'll be looking to sell against Bitcoin. But given this is 12.8 and this is 81, I mean, I really need around 16 or more to want to profit take this against Bitcoin. A 32.85 in here. I'm just going to pause it to get to the number. And it's 62,200. And of course with 16,000 out here. Now your wallet puts you back to that 250,000 number. With Bitcoin prices at 74, but that's because your Bitcoin value is now at 34.9. Okay. So last trade is in at 3.91. And I didn't put ratio here as well as here. And given we're in high volatile times, I want to just see what happens here because once the movements are wild like this, there's a good chance the next day it might be. We've seen this go from 1.3 to almost 4, probably over 4 at some point intraday. Down to 341, down to 309, which is lower than the 313, but not by much, and we're in high volatility. Oh, I'm waiting another day. I'm probably still going to do it again. Wait, that is. I mean, 32.08, not much of a difference. It's grinding its way lower. 12.8, 11.1, 10.2, 95. Let's try to get a better price. Let's wait one more day. Oh, that's better, but not by much. Wait another day. Let's make a trade. I mean, I can only go so long before it's like, yeah. I mean, if it continues to go lower, I'll just trade again. That's really all it comes down to at this point. I mean, whatever the market does here, I'm not trying to predict it, just react. And in this situation, it would be in at 281. So therefore, we're getting pretty much the buyback on this last one is what I can do. Because this one was just a monster play here. But in this case, I'm going to be looking to sell the NEM. And I probably want to sell about 55, 60,000. Can I afford that? Like 55,000, a good portion of it. And given that 20% is 80, yeah, sort of. So let's go, 50, 5,200, gain 7. And on this other side here, I'll gain 3,500 plus on that move there. As far as the wallet is concerned, 237,000 and almost 34 BTC net value. And of course, I could have waited the next day. A nicer move, a 20-point differential in price. So be it. I'm waiting for below 2.25 now. 252 continue down as GRS continues to go lower. And now we get the next trade. Like I said, if it goes down below 2.25, that's what's going to happen. This is up to 42. So in a case like this, I got to think 20% is in order. 20% play on the NEM is about 70,000. So that's how many I want to sell. I picked up 146 at that one price, so I'm loading about half of them here. And with this price at 92.70, I'll get less than half, so around approximately 32 maybe. Oh, very much so. And I'll keep it at that. So 32,100 added, which is well more than half of this, with half being 25,000. And 70,000 out, which is well less than, or noticeably less than half, with 146.5. And 73 would have been half. Bankroll in at 286, hanging in there for certain. And 36 total Bitcoin. Okay, I'm looking for a move below 174, above 271. And how do you do 2 days later? 416 is the ratio. GRS goes from 92 to 17.9. Now that's pretty big. Pretty big move to say the least. Definitely trading it. The last sale here was 81. And what do you own? You own 152,000 worth, your majority of your portfolio, 18 Bitcoin. You own 106. You probably want to go near half, like 50 grand. So therefore, that's exactly what I'm going to do. 25,000 goes against the ratio. 25,000 goes against Bitcoin. So I'll bold this. 4.46 Bitcoin added to portfolio. That's a huge move. Especially when you start off with practically close to nothing, or at least a small fraction of what that individual trade happens to be, which is like a quarter of your GRS. So then as far as completing this trade in here, if we're looking at a price point, let's look at the ratio again. 4.16, so I can get more than 4 times that. Oh wow, that's pretty sweet. It's like 110,000 maybe. No, not quite. Yeah, but 104. I'll take it. I don't care how close. It's close enough. Bankroll. No, I didn't look at that number before. 362 now. And close to 45. Pretty good. Pretty good. We'll put 416 in here. Bold this, and I can even put in here so the next day, does it bring any nothing. GRS barely goes up, so does the other one. Next day, with GRS hanging in there? Hanging in there still, but it's grinding lower. And to say I want well lower than 33 right now would be an understatement. Although the more unvolatile it gets, the more I'll settle little below that number, like 310, 315. But now it gets to the point where these prices are going down little. These prices are hanging in there. Ratio's going down little. I am now going to pause the tape until the bottom of the screen of the next trade. And I'm in pressure luck territory, to say the least. And I did it at 330, at 327. I'm going to do it again at 321. And I'm going to do it again. Oh my goodness, I'm going to do it again. I'll take it, 291. Make a ratio trade here. What's happened? GRS down to 11,000. NEM at 38, it was at 43. But hasn't lost as much. NEM value is significantly higher than the GRS, still at 347. So at 38,000, 20% is 76. And take 81,500 out of the lineup and add 27,800 there. So in this situation here, that was a gain of over 20,000 of these NEM, and that was a gain of 2,800 of the GRS. Price action in at 233 and 364. I'll still be looking for this to go below 3,000 for the buy. And given that the trade here was at 17,000, half of that is 9, but I didn't even think Pierce below 8,000 I'd be looking for, which is what I'll be looking there. And I'm just going to pause this until the next trade or the bottom of the screen. And it only took 3 days. It was close the day before at 359, but that was still 4 basis points, or 5 basis points rather, below this. But now at 414, we've seen the NEM barely go up. GRS have a significantly nice gain, so definitely worth trading. The ownership is 83,800, so 10%, 17,000-ish. And maybe you could do 18.5. Little small 3.21 Bitcoin, but not really. You're still going to get a good number back. And it would be about 76 too. So I'm going to just adjust this a bit. I'm going to sell 20,000 instead, 20,800. And actually make a small gain on the NEM this way. Portfolio now near 400,000, 45 Bitcoin. NEM worth a little more than the GRS, and it's worth more than your BTC and your US dollar numbers as well. And with the last trade just completed, I've went through several days and ratios aren't really changing too much. Price action is now getting closer to 3, but even GRS at 13, I'm not buying at that price. I need to see it go significantly lower. So let me just do a few more days, however long it takes. And I'm at the bottom of this page. A couple times, including now. Do I buy the NEM? It's down to like, 29.98 was at 29.90. I'm still looking for a bit better of a price though, so let's do the same thing again. And the markets have been declining. The ratio is not in trade, but 28.93, I'm going to take it now. So let's buy some XCM. And now when we look at the portfolio, down to 256, which was a high point many a days before, 38 Bitcoin. Bitcoin price is down to 67, so you have to ask yourself, where would your buybacks be? I would have stayed at around 63, but yeah, that's better than half off. That was key Fibonacci number, even 6,000 low. And I haven't looked too much at that. Has there been many 6,000 low days? There was 63 here. I'd be looking even closer to 61. But for now, this is a NEM trade. Getting back this one, 2.84 Bitcoin, and it was 40,000. 1.88 Bitcoin and it's for 65. So I get a good Bitcoin profit. I get a good NEM profit. And I can unbold that. So I'm looking at the buyback here, and again, about 8,000 or so. Yeah, definitely break below 8,000 on that one. And it's been several days since that buy NEM, and oh, I could have got a better price. This will be at 2,400 here, 2,400 there. NEM got down relatively close, down to 92.99. Bitcoin price is at 6,500. That brings it down to 244, and that of 37. And by the way, I missed this 58.45. And I'm going to quote unquote cheat because I knew I was waiting for low, so I'll take the 60.74 number. I was just a not paying attention job, which you would do in real life every single day. So if we go 60.74 here is the price. And maybe pick up a little more than what we got last time. Last time was 1.25. I mean, technically 2.5 would be cheaper. So what about 2 Bitcoin? I'd be gaining 6,000 plus US dollars on this play. So we'll do that. Scroll it down here to get ready for the next trade. Go to the worksheet because it is taking forever for this ratio to change. And I guess I should put in buy BTC here. Pause the tape and see if we get anything of a next trade, or we're at the bottom of the screen. And it is the bottom. And these bear markets, you see there's less trades. You wait. Okay, we traded last 414. It was close to 331 when it got here to 338. It then re-entered almost, but not near as close here. 414 is last trade. It's pretty much stayed below that, but not for large amounts of basis points. And the ratio hasn't changed yet. We got a lot of lower prices. This is at 77 and this is at 22. So we do have that break below 8. We could probably and should probably do a double buyback. Portfolio's down to 241, definitely hanging in there with Bitcoin prices at 73, and the altcoin bear market in full throttle right now. So then, let's go ahead and take a look at what the last trade. Of course, this is going to be the buy, but the last bold that we have here was at 38.64. So no, I don't want to buy that. I will though buy GRS on this trade. Okay, so 77.46. I'll do about pretty much the same thing that I did before. Do a noticeable number, like say around 35 to 40,000. 40,000. Will that give me more than? Will that cost me less than 346 easily? 1.3 Bitcoin profit. 15,000 GRS profit from those two trades. And I'll unbold that. So there we have it, 241. Now the GRS is at 8. NEM at 10, your BTC at 8, and your USD at 6 for Bitcoin value, that is. And we're not doing too much here, so unless I see major decline here, or the ratio come into play, there's not going to be much to do. And so it goes. Nothing since that last buy. No ratio trade in a long time. But GRS just picked up pretty good as the ratio went from 4.2, 4.36, 4.4, and then that of 5.5. Finally, a ratio trade. So with this price, it's a relatively standard move. So a noticeable number over 20% should be in order, which is well more like 24,000. I would think to be a good sell number. And 132,000 added is quite a bit. 1685. It's in that area. I'm probably, because I just got this nice accumulation, I'm going to wait maybe just a small amount lower, like 1,500 or lower than that. And do so. If it goes up, that's fine. I don't mind holding Bitcoin. But a pierce below 15 on that. And instead, everything going up, well, not really. 1550 at 613 now. 1500. And I say close enough. So we'll buy XEM. Last time it was 70,000 for 2.7 almost. 100 and, well, that'll be 1.5, so I'm going to go 115,000 for 1.7. That's a gain of about 1 Bitcoin right there. As far as the portfolio is concerned, down to now 202. You lost 50 grand, and you lost 50 grand before that. That's how it goes. Let's move on back to the worksheet. We'll do a couple more, and I'm going to have to do another part because there's still several more days after this. So we'll do one more final trade to finish off this video. See if maybe we can get that ratio fill, as maybe it'll go up to the 691. But a lot of this is just, waiting for all of this to go down. Bitcoin prices are in that boring 7,000, and then of course they go down back up again. But you really just go every single day. Nothing to do here. Nothing to do. Times get busy. And again, most of the time that you get these nothing days is when volatility is really, really bad. Or when the bear market is just in consistent form. Because markets go down slower too. And you can see here just how many days this is. Now this is down to 1393. This down to 8,000, but the ratio still nowhere near 7. 621. You can see this is just like one of those times where what do you do just other than nothing? Or check the prices, do your daily math equation, which is pretty easy to do. And I'm gonna have to do this whole pause thing. It's just I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. Wow. But you know what? That's the way the market is, and I can't say I didn't think that because, I mean, I experienced that myself as a trader during the 2018 period where it was just boring, and that's just what goes. A whole bunch of days without a trade. That's reality at times, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I should stop doing this because the game is over. No, it's just patterns of times, and a bunch more goes of days go by, and nothing more to do. No trades. So we'll just scroll this down like this and do the same thing for the last trade of this episode. And I almost made a trade here just out of boredom, rage, if you will. And this is barely a trade at the 440 mark, but might as well take it. Bitcoin down to 63 pretty much. 1700 for this, 74 for that. So therefore, what did the ratio do? Go up or down? It's been so long, 553. It went down. So because that went down, that means the cheaper coin went up. Last time it was 1685 and 93. Now it's about the same, but 74. So how many NEM do we own? Definitely a minimum trade. 700,000, that's about 140. But yeah, I'm going to do 140. And accumulate 31,600 of the GRS. The last GRS sale was 8,100, so we got a long ways to go for a buyback there. Portfolio this time is now dipped below 200. It will dip even further when Bitcoin prices continue to go down and the altcoins go down even more as we head into the next episode. But we look at the ownership, 46,000 plus US dollars. And we're starting with 100. I think I started with 110. And that's just, and you got four close to equal portions and of around 50,000 each. Bitcoin 6.5, which would be worth about 6.5 Bitcoin, no, 41,000 at that time. The NEM, you have a half a million more, worth 9.5 Bitcoin, and the GRS over 110. So in calculating that of XYZ right now, just for something to do, X is your increase, which we'll get very soon, and it's pretty good. Y equals altcoin increase. And Z equals BTC increase. I don't care that I spelt that wrong. So let's just find out first what Z is. On the worksheet here, we got to see that the first price of Bitcoin was 450. So if the price here is 6,318, Z is 14.04. Why? The altcoin increase. Well, NEM is 1,700, and it started off at 363. So that's a little over 4 times. GRS at 452. It's now 74, so that's like 19 times. 18, 19. And that means maybe about 10 times or so the markets have increased in your favor. So we'll put 10 here. And what's your increase? And this is going to be a little difficult and a little tricky because you got US dollars and in here. So we're going to have to assume, you got 18 Bitcoin with 13 plus. So whatever number I have to do this, I'm going to have to make it like 60% higher to accumulate for this in here. And right off the bat, the answer is going to be, of course, this divided by 100, and so whatever we started with. Or it should be around there. But to see what our increase is, the original trades showed 20,000 and 16,000, and it was 20,000 of the NEM. So NEM is up about 25 times, and the GRS is up about 8 times, so we're looking at about another 14x move. 14 times 10 is 140, and 140 times this should be about 2,000 change, almost 2,000. So it'd be about 2,000 times increase. Now, what did we start with? No, but I have to increase that by 1.5. I remember that 1.6. I have to go like 23. That's right. So this would be 230. And now you're talking about a 3300x score. Maybe that's not the right answer. No matter what, the right answer is you're kicking ass and making a whole shitload here amongst your trading. That is what I think is the most important part. But the start was with $100. So as it comes down to it, $100 to $200,000. Well, that would be 10, to, you're looking at 4,000 times. So at 4,000 times is what it is. That's what XYZ would be. So if you add these up correctly with everything, that's what the net gain so far. And of course, it was over 300,000, so it was even better at one point before. But that's what's going to happen. And this type of strategy does a very good job in saving your ass in these bear markets and making sure it doesn't retrace anywhere near the amount the hodling could have and how much the base markets are going to have. But when the markets have great surges, and it's going to profit take very well for you as well. Thank you for tuning into this part. I look forward to putting out the next one. Take care.